Hey guys, I'm going to teach you today how you might elaborate on a character based on how much you know about them from your mentor text. So, here's my blank journal page. I titled it Bud Character Elaboration. I'm going to elaborate on the character Bud from Bud Not Buddy. I chose him because I feel like a lot of us know his character from the book we read last year in sixth grade. So basically, I'm just going to think back to the book and think back to what I can remember about him. And I'm going to try to create a life for Bud as an adult. So there might be a lot of parallels here between my elaborating on Bud and a sequel. But I'm really just focusing today on everything about his character that I might use in a story about his life as an adult. So I'm just trying to think of Bud as like a father. I think I decided he's going to be a father in the book, in the fan fiction I write. So I'm picturing him like at a breakfast table with his family. And I want to give him kids. So I think I have an idea. I want to just see I can't remember his mom's name. Bud's mom and Bud Not Buddy is Angela Janet Caldwell. So this makes me want to give him two daughters, one named Angela and one named Janet. So here I go. I'm going to just say Bud was sitting. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Sorry about that. Okay, Bud was sitting at his dining room table, eating breakfast with his wife and his two daughters, Janet and Angela. They are named after his mother, who passed away, who he always remembers with a lot of love and admiration. So I just kind of want to like explain where the idea came from. And I'm just thinking about what I know about Bud's childhood. He had a really rough childhood. He did not really have an easy time with anything. And so in this picture in my brain of Bud sitting at the dining room table with his family, I'm kind of thinking it would be funny if he was always reminding his daughters of how good they had it. Maybe he's always saying like, you have no idea how lucky you are. You don't know what it was like for me. And I think it would be funny if they kind of like rolled their eyes at him, like if it was something he said all the time. So at this breakfast table, I'm going to have Bud was lecturing them, his daughters, about how they don't even realize how lucky they are. He often reminds them about how bad he had it. And it's kind of funny because as I'm writing this, I'm realizing that it's also from my personal life. This is what my dad always did, like reminded me that his childhood was harder than mine. But maybe that's just like an all dads do it thing. I'm not sure. And I want to include that the two daughters, Janet and Angela, often roll their eyes at him when he tells them they don't know. When he tells them that they don't know how lucky they are. Just an idea. I know I like to roll my eyes at my dad sometimes. All right, now I'm trying to think of what he might do for a living. And again, all the things that I know about Bud are about his childhood and how rough he had it. And he was homeless and he was living in a shelter and he was getting mistreated by foster families. So I could have him be like a social worker, kind of as a way for him to help out kids who are in situations similar to him. Or I could maybe have him be like the head of a homeless shelter. So I could say Bud runs a homeless shelter for youth where he manages their living situations to make sure that he manages their living situation. This is his way of trying to help out people who he can relate to. Okay. Now Now, other things I remember about Bud from the story is that his best friend was Bugs. So maybe Bugs is going to be in this story. Maybe Bud and Bugs are still best friends. Maybe I could have Bugs and his wife come over one day in my story. Bugs and his wife come over for dinner. I might even have Bugs be the reason that Bud met his wife. So if they're still best friends, maybe Bugs introduced this girl to Bud and then they ended up getting married. Bugs actually is the reason Bud met his wife. Okay, again, none of this is set in stone. I can always come back and change it. And I'm literally just having thoughts pop into my brain and I'm kind of just running with them. Okay. What else can I remember about Bud's mom? Let me go back here. Bud mentions on numerous occasions that his mother read to him before he went to sleep and that she took him to the library when she was still alive. Okay, so library and reading books both seem important and definitely can get tied in because Bud has 2 daughters. So maybe I'll go back up here and I'll say that he reads to them often before bed. Janet and Angela often roll their eyes at him when he tells them that they don't know how lucky they are. Bud also loves to read them stories before bed because that is something his mother used to do for him. All right, what else could I say about Bud? So I know he traveled with the band a lot. So he did a lot of traveling around the country with the band. I don't remember the name of the band, so I'm going to go Google it. So Bud, not Buddy, band. I know it was like, I know the depression was in it. Like the word depression was in it. The Dusky Devastators of the Depression. So he did a lot of traveling around the country with the band. The Dusky Devastators of the Depression. So maybe I will have him listen to them a lot. Maybe his daughters roll their eyes at this too. His daughters get sick of hearing their music all the time. I also just want to pause for a moment here and think to myself that if Bud spent a lot of time around live music as a kid, then he might really enjoy like live music still later on in life. So maybe I'll make him like go to, I don't know, a live music club once a week or something like that. So his daughters get sick of hearing music all the time. He often goes to listen to live music. Okay, so I just want to stop, and I'm noticing something about my writing. I don't have a plot here at all. I just have a bunch of ideas about Bud and what he might be like in the future. This is my character elaboration, so my main focus for this is just elaborating on his character. I don't have a plot yet. I think if I keep going this way, where I keep coming up with ideas for Bud, I might come up with a plot. Like he has a family, he's got a friend, he listens to music. I could easily kind of develop a plot with one of those aspects of his life. But since today is just a character elaboration video, I really want you to just focus on using the details that you know about your main character or about a character from your mentor text and running with them. Just like run with the ideas. I want to add just one more thing. There was that woman in his life who was really important when he was like transitioning over. And I'm trying to remember her name, but I can't. So let me Google it really quick. Bud, not Buddy, woman in the band. Remember who I'm talking about? Those of you who know? Miss Thomas, Miss T. She's the singer in the band. So I might include her also, Miss Thomas. Maybe I'll have her come visit. Maybe she is like important to his family. Miss Thomas comes to visit his daughters often, and she is very involved with his family. I'm not sure, guys. It's just an idea that I might run with. So I'm including it here for now. And yeah, this was just, I just wanted to kind of show you what it looks like to like think weird random ideas and run with them and be creative. And I know it takes time. So I did think about this beforehand. I hope that you guys are already kind of thinking about your fan fiction, but I still just wanted to kind of show you what it's like to put in writing these ideas or thoughts that you might have that might seem silly and you might not use them, but it's a good way to brainstorm for your fan fiction. All right, see you in class.